Please review the disclosures. Nothing written, expressed, or said here should be looked at as investment advice or an admonition to buy, sell, or trade any security or financial instrument. The Lund Loop is for informational purposes only. Hey everybody, welcome to the daily update for Thursday, September 29th, 2025. If you're not in that Discord, get in there. Paid subscribers already get access. Unpaid subscribers don't have access, but they will get access once they become paid subscribers. Okay, so interesting day today. Today wasn't as bad of a day as I think a lot of people thought it was initially. So right out of the gate, we were down, and selling was pretty pronounced, but then we got a bounce not too far into the session. This is at the 6. Well, first of all, we held at some point here, and then we bounced at about 7 a.m. Pacific time, so 30 minutes in. And it was a good bounce. We came back above that opening gap right there, okay? Reversed all the moving averages and started a base, came back in, held right at that line where we opened, bounced, held again, and looked like we were breaking higher and maybe going to retrace the whole thing. And then the selling just came in. We lost that opening gap. We went lower. The selling picked up. We plunged below the low of the day, but then buyers came in, firmed us back up, and we ended, I would say, in the 2/3 of this range that we were in today. Not the worst close in the world. If we look at the Qs, they actually recaptured the low of yesterday. And you can also see the difference, right? You have the low here, right? And then a higher low. So that's better relative strength compared to the SPX, which actually went below that opening low. And it was the same thing across the board, really, with everything. So a little bit of a tough day. Were there things to do today? It depends. It depends on what you want to do, what your risk profile is. Now, for example, Palantir. All right, so Palantir was down like everything else at the open, but look at this. Look at that little hammer right there. Boom. So if you're an active trader and you're just looking for a reactive move, you could have bought that hammer, and look at that. Palantir just recaptures all the moving averages, and it just keeps going higher and higher and higher. Now, it does flatten out, so you take some profits here, gave back a good chunk of it at the end of the day, but like I said, there's things to do. If you're more intermediate term trader, not so much to do today, I don't think. So where does that leave us? Was today a bad day? Not really. Here's what would be bad. If we were to break below today's low, that would be bad. The other thing that would be bad is if we were to rally for a couple of days up here, not quite get back to the highs, roll over, and then break it. Okay, that's when the real bad would happen. So right now, we came right off the 21. Okay, big deal. Come in a little bit today, come in a little bit yesterday. Bounce off the 21, we reverse. If we can follow through like this, that was the pullback. Is it the pullback? We don't know. We won't know. This is kind of a key bar here. We had a little bit more volume today than normal. If you look at the Qs, same sort of thing. Didn't quite get to the 21. Again, recaptured the low of yesterday. So a little bit better looking, in that we came through this gap, right? Went down, back up. So we're set to try to go back up here. Again, a break below this low today would probably be not good short term. But as I said yesterday, we can get to the 21, we can get all the way to the 50 and still be in a nice long-term uptrend. In fact, the honest truth is 5 to 7% pullback would probably set up some really good entries for the rest of the year. Will we get those? Will we get that much of a pullback? A lot of people think no. The key is not to be too big. Like, you didn't want to be too big here, right? And you want to be reducing there. You want to reduce a little bit more here, right? The problem is people get too big here. The market flushes here. They sell out at the bottom because they can't handle it. And then you get this counter trend rally and they miss out on it. Or we get a counter trend rally, they want to jump in because they're afraid they're going to miss out, and they buy right at the high as we go over. So they get a double whammy. They get sold out here, they buy back on the reflexive rally, and then they have to sell again when we get back there. So the point is, if you're lightening up here, okay, if you're not staying too big here, that gives you flexibility in this area, right? You don't have to sell if you have smaller positions, or you can pick stuff up here. It's the inverse of that person that has to sell here, then buys here, then sells out there. So anyway, all right, let's go through the macros and then we'll check out what's going on the watch list today.